Today was the first day ever I wanted somebody to lie to me. And I don't like liars. I'm at the gas station, right? And I get out of the car and this fellow comes up. He sticks his card into the machine and he started pumping my gas. He said, "I got you." I was like, "Ooh." I said, "Okay." He started making small talk, asking me my name. Then he asked me what I was wearing because he said I smelled delicious. I said, "Ooh, not delicious." He was just saying all the right little things. I was like, "Okay." He said, "If I give you my number, will you use it?" Something told me to ask him. I was like, "How old are you?" He said, 27. I said, 27? I said, "I'm old enough to be your mom." He was like, "What?" "Yeah, but my mom don't look like you." I said, "You sure you're 27? You're not 37? And even though 37 is still young, I just didn't want him to be 27. I said, "You sure you're 27? Because I wanted him to lie to.
She wanted to be lied to. Okay, and it's funny because this is a very beautiful woman over the age of 40, I believe, because she says even 37 is young. Baby, I'm 37. I'm too young for you? I'm too young for a 40-year-old woman? I think not. And it's so funny because I think women want to be men nowadays, right? They're chasing their careers, they're chasing their bag, they're buying homes. They can provide for themselves. But now they want a man that could still provide for them, so that's strange. So to me, men, when we can provide for other people, we provide for other people. Why not date that 27-year-old dude? He's polite to you. He pumped your gas. You were attracted to him. You want him to lie to you. Y'all seen how she rubbed her bosom, right? She's, "I want him to lie to me." Okay. And I came across this lady's TikTok. Her name is TheeNaysimone. I don't know. I've never seen it before. Anyway, she has 500,000 followers on TikTok. 7 million likes. I guess TikTok goes by likes more than views. YouTube, we go by views. Anyway, decently attractive girl. But I want to just show you what the body of this 40-something-year-old woman looks like. And she's in West Palm Beach. Shout out to West Palm Beach. I love West Palm Beach. Any of my plant-based people go to Darpsters in West Palm Beach or Dina's Deli in West Palm Beach. Shout out to West Palm. Anyway, here's her body. Take a look. And she's in her 40s, right? Nice. I know. Yeah, I know. Very nice. Yeah, no complaints there. So she looks good, not just, in the face, head to toes. All right. Now, I want to show you the real video I want to show you, okay? This is a story time where she talks about her real dating experience. This is what's really interesting. Here's an attractive woman who has 500,000 followers on TikTok. She aged very well. I'm assuming maybe she's getting the bag. Even 27-year-old dudes are trying to holler at her. But look at her dating life. Just look at her dating life.
TikTok, I know it's been a while, but I got a story to tell. And we're going to call this story The Audacity. So let me make this story quick. A group of us decided to go have some drinks after an event that went on, right? There was one particular guy who took a liking to me. Me and this guy began to have great conversation. It was pretty decent for the most part, considering the few conversations I had with other men lately. I let him talk his bologna because honestly, we don't know if you're lying until you get caught in the lie, right? We decided to go have another drink, so we stood by the bar and a bunch of us was having conversation. We all engaging in conversation. Somewhere in that conversation, the dude who was taking a liking to me thought it was a great idea to slap me on my butt. I kindly turned to him and said, "Don't you ever put your hands on me again. That was so disrespectful." He said, "Sorry, my apologies." And I thought we was going to move forward from that point, right? Nope. He thought it was a great idea to justify his actions. He goes on to talk about how big his hand was and how it was bigger than my behind. I told him, I don't care if your hands was smaller than my behind. It should not be touching it in the first place.
Funny. The irony, right? I mean, not the girl with 500,000 subscribers, followers, whatever you want to call it on TikTok. Not the girl who aged gracefully in her 40s. The men that you said you had a great conversation considering the conversations you have with men. You had a great conversation considering the conversations you have with men. Your words. So the guy that you actually had because when you could talk to someone and have great conversation, you guys have alignment. Okay, that's what great conversation is about. You align. You think like he thinks like you think. So your intellectual match is a guy that smacks girls on their butt. And you're mad about that. You're mad about that. Why are you mad about it? Hey, look, I'm not saying he should have done that. I'm not saying he should have done that. I'm just trying to say you said that you enjoyed the conversation you had with the brother. Again, women fall in love with their ears. If you could do this well, it don't matter what your real character is. If you could do like this well, girls are going to fall in love with you. But a lot of men who want to be of value want to tell the truth. We don't want to lie. She even just said just now, oh, you don't know when they're lying or not. Meaning that he probably hyping up his life, bragging about his life. A lot of men do that. Sometimes I feel like nowadays, like everybody's trying to check score, like how many followers you got, how many subscribers you got. It's a big deal now. It's a big deal now. And so she got a lot going on. He probably trying to chat her up. But I thought it's really funny that she said the guy that she got along with smacked her on the behind. Anyway, the story gets even more interesting than that. Let it finish playing, then we'll respond.
It still wasn't good enough for him. He still had to justify his actions. So what he did was he slapped another female on her butt, and she didn't give him the same response that I did. He goes on to say, see, it's not a big deal. I said, let me tell you something. Me and her are two different people, okay? What you're not going to do is touch me on my behind. Now, at this point, I was already turned off. There's no calling me. There's no we're going out. It was, that's it. It was nothing after that. I was completely turned off. He finished his drink and then he left, right? We continued to have our drinks and then we left. I get in my car and I called my girlfriend to let her know what happened. She said, girl, who are you talking about? I told her the person's name. My girlfriend said, girl, I know you're lying because he has a whole wife at home. Nowhere in this conversation he had with me did he mention his wife. I was already turned off before I even knew he was married, okay? But he never told me he had a wife. So he's out here with bad behavior. TikTok, I know.
It's so funny. It's so funny. I mean, I don't write these jokes. Y'all might be thinking that I go out and I tell people, hey man, make these skits for me so I can go back to YouTube and really please my audience. I don't make this up. This is not me. I just find this. I'm just a great student. And I can discover the problems that we have and I see it, the reincarnation of it all over TikTok. Okay, and like I said, here is a beautiful, this is a very attractive woman. Okay? This is a very attractive woman. And look at the issues she has at 40 with 500,000 followers. Do you know the kind of girls you would get with 500,000 followers? Do you understand the opportunities you would have in your life with 500,000 followers? It just goes to show, and I always say this to women, y'all chase after something and y'all don't even understand what that finish line really looks like. You don't understand what that finish line really looks like. To be a boss babe, what? You're a pretty girl, no kids, over the age of 40. Now what? Get hit by two people, underage dudes and married men. So all we see is women over 40 who are single and beautiful. They become side chicks by dudes that are underage or married men. And some women are cheering her on. They're like, oh, girl, 27 is still legal. Girl, next time don't ask his age. Just go with it. Have some fun. Keep 304 in. Keep 304 in. Right? Why not? What else you gonna do with this beauty, right? This beauty's going to waste. This beauty's going to waste, right? What are you gonna do with all this? What you gonna do with all that junk? All that junk inside that trunk. I'm gonna that trunk. I'm gonna get inside that trunk. What you gonna do with all that? Lovely, 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 right? And I just think it's so interesting because, you know, we look at women like this and we say to ourselves, well, geez, wouldn't she make a very attractive married woman? I think she would. But I get it. I get it. It's not just her fault. She's a victim of society. Society gave us this nonsense to believe it's not true. It says go out there, share yourself with the world, and then find someone that's going to love you for who you are. The person that just shared themselves with the world. We don't say this in the Bible, in Christianity. I know people say, oh, don't talk about the Bible, Christianity. Listen, you're going to have one, you're going to serve some master. Either that master is going to be you or a master is going to be a higher power. It's up to you. You know what I'm saying? You tell me who their master is, right? You're going to either do good in the world or evil in the world. You tell me. If you think I'm doing evil because you're doing good, okay. I get your perspective. But I think I'm doing good and y'all doing evil. So we got to figure out who's right or who's wrong. But I can tell you one thing. My ideas come from ancient teachers, right? The Bible was written over 1,500 years, from 1400 AD onwards to like 1400 BC to like 97 AD. Right? So I say this to say because, you know, to me, that's the highest amount of respect for our ancestors. But you could do whatever you want. I get it. You know better than me, whatever. I'm just saying, if these girls were following Christian principles and ethics, they'd be better wives. You guys got to check out what it says about wives in the Bible, man. The Proverbs 31 wife, that's a really good woman, man. They say the perfect wife. Shout out to it. You know what I'm saying? These girls haven't figured out what the perfect wife is. Modern women haven't figured out what a perfect wife is. They think this is what a perfect wife is. The question is, do you agree with them? Do you agree with the modern times, what society has taught you, or do you agree with the ancient teachings? I know some people want a mixture of the both. I get it. I get it. Anyway, like the video, subscribe to the channel. Channel blowing up. I appreciate you guys. Check out some of my other videos, and I'll see you over there.